We're playing Ruby Storm, the best modern Storm combo deck in Legacy. Ruby Medallion, Rail Monsoon Mage, and well, I love winning with Grapeshot. Let's go do it. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Legacy Ruby Storm. Well, what is the deck really? It is Rail Monsoon Mage and Ruby Medallion, reducing the effects of your expensive red spells. So Burning Wish, Reckless Impulse, Wrenn's Resolve, all that good stuff. But like in Modern, we're still a Past in Flames deck. We're running Wish as added utility, which can get things like Blast Zone to get you out of a sticky situation. But more frequently, it's things like Galvanic Relay, Past in Flames, Elemental Eruption, who doesn't love winning with Giant Dragons. So that is the idea. It's making cards like Jeska's Will and Seething Song more playable by reducing the cost. What's interesting about this list is we're no longer playing Lotus Petal. Instead, we're playing Vexing Bauble, which stops things like Force of Will from countering your Seething Songs and really keeping you in the game. Vexing Bauble, being a protection spell, is very important, but more important than that, Ruby Storm is a deck that can win through opposing copies of Vexing Bauble, making it an interesting choice in the Legacy metagame. So that is the big level up and why you would want to play that deck in Legacy today. I do have a sideboard guide available. Around the 30-second mark, there was probably a little thing that popped up with it. You could also go to theepicstorm.com/shop and buy it there for $5, a little bit less because we both save on fees from Shopify. So go check that out. But I'm really excited to play it today because I think that Burning Wish is just, it's really good right now, in my opinion, and getting Alchemist Gambit to beat the One Ring and stuff like that, I think it makes it a really interesting choice. But a choice that I'm not playing is Bonus Round, and it upsets a lot of Ruby Storm players that want to play it because it is really sweet. You get to make tons of mana, copy your Reckless Impulse, and do all this wild stuff. And who doesn't like to do crazy plays? I certainly do. But if you're being honest with yourself and trying to make the deck as competitive as possible, like if you're trying to do well with Ruby Storm, this is the list for you. Because Ruby Storm at its core is a budget option because you're not playing Lion's Eye Diamond or Lotus Petal. Yes, you have Ancient Tomb, I get that, but the rest of the deck is relatively cheap. And I feel like Bonus Round was this theme that people put in the deck to justify that. Well, when you look at the play patterns of the card, it doesn't make any sense because you're going to spend 3 mana, so you've already resolved a Seething Song or a Jeska's Will relatively quickly, okay? And then you're going to play this 3 mana card that does actual nothing. It resolves, nothing happens. So then from there, you need Rite of Flame plus Reckless Impulse to even get started, okay? And that means that you already had mana and a payoff. If you already have mana and payoffs, why not just play your payoff and then hit a Wish or a Past in Flames or something else? So, like, it's a card that requires other cards to be good, which means that it's a win more card. And a lot of people disagree with me on that. That's fine. We all don't need to agree. But the card itself doesn't actually put you in a winning position almost ever. It helps you win when you're already doing well. And if you've already resolved a Seething Song, plus a 3 mana spell with no effect, you are winning that game anyway. So I'm sorry, if you're a Bonus Round lover, we can still be friends, you can still watch the video, all that good stuff, but I just don't think the card's very good. That's my rant. That is why I don't think it's playable. And without any further ado, let's not go cast some Bonus Rounds. I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we are on the play. Alright, so we have turn 2 Rail plus Reckless Impulse. 5 lands is not ideal, but I do think this hand is okay enough. No clue what the opponent's playing. Also, I'm a pretty big advocate for Sandstone Needle. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but it creates faster wins, which I like. So you could play a turn 1 Needle into turn 2 Ancient Tomb, Rail, Seething Song into Reckless Impulse, and all of a sudden you're off to the races. You don't really get that when you only play basic mountains, and The thing about City of Traitors, one, reserve list, so it is very expensive, but two, your deck actually needs a lot of red mana in order to win, and that's why I like Sandstone Needle. It's not a budgetary reason, I think it's actually just better than City of Traitors in this specific deck. Once Upon a Time. Our opponent plays a Lotus Petal. Alright, so they're on Eldrazi. And they're going to play a turn 1 Null Drifter. Okay, sure. You can draw 2 cards, trade 2 cards for 2 cards. And now they have 6 in hand. We find a Jeska's Will. So this does allow us to try to win here. They have 6 in hand. I would need to hit off the Reckless Impulse, but I already have 5 lands in my hand, so I'm willing to try. So Sandstone Needle looking very good from the get-go here. And it triggers the Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. And now we'll get 6 red mana. Reckless Impulse. Choose Tails again. We lose the flip and Reckless Impulse. Rail and a Vexing Bauble, so not very good. We'll play the Bauble and then draw a card. Let's see if we could spike something good here. Manamorphose, so that's the 3rd spell for Rail. We won the flip. I think I'm actually going to say yes because I have this other Rail in exile that's going to be useless. And now Manamorphose, we'll say red. We'll plus the Rail here. Okay, and now we'll play a Reckless Impulse. 3 mana floating. And our opponent just conceded. Let's draw 2, if it will let me. Ancient Tomb, Mountain. We would have hit 5 lands and our opponent just conceded. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. Sandstone Needle looked very good despite our eventual fizzle. So the question is, what do? Do you want to board out Vexing Bauble versus Eldrazi? The answer is no. They play Lotus Petal, they play Once Upon a Time, and they sideboard into Mindbreak Trap. You definitely don't want to board out Vexing Bauble. You could sideboard in the Blast Zone. I'm not even sure that's something I want to do here. I think the actual answer is I'm just going to resubmit. Our deck is so good at beating hate. Like, it doesn't care about Null Rod, it doesn't care about Vexing Bauble. So, no, I don't want to bring in Blast Zone right now. And if you're struggling with how to sideboard, once again, I do have that sideboard guide over at theepicstorm.com/shop. Our Legacy Ruby Storm, I'm sorry, misspoke there. But it's $5. Go check it out. We also have a tier through Patreon and this very YouTube channel where you can become a Stormtrooper, which I believe is $30. It's either $30 or $25, but you'll get every sideboard guide every single month. So that would include the Legacy Ruby Storm sideboard guide, my Epic Storm sideboard guide. I think there's like 4 modern Ruby Storm sideboard guides each month at this point. So there's a ton of them. But you would get all of them with that $30 tier. They just play Ancient Tomb and pass. Rite of Flame. We'll play Sandstone Needle, which, by the way, on turn 2 does give me Seething Song. Alright, 4 mana, Thought-Knot Seer. Surprise, surprise. So the question is it Wrenn's Resolve or is it Jeska's Will? They take Wrenn's Resolve. Rail Monsoon Mage, don't mind if I do. Alright, we'll play the Rail. If they have Mindbreak Trap, that's a problem here, but this is not a spot where I can afford to play around that card. We'll choose Tails, Seething Song. Yeah, why would you play Sandstone Needle? It definitely doesn't look good ever. We'll choose Tails. There's a brief pause there, so I think they might have the trap. And now we will Jeska's Will. And this time we're going to choose the mode to exile the top 3. Choose Tails. We lose the flip. Jeska's Will. And they have the trap. So we will pass the turn. Very good opener for them. Turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer plus Mindbreak Trap. They play Lotus Petal. And another Thought-Knot Seer. Brutal. We get hit for 1. Ouch. I'm sorry, we get hit for 4. That was the first attack. Ancient Tomb, not a good draw. We will pass the turn. So our best draw is probably another Jeska's Will, if I had to take a wild guess. Burning Wish or Wish could get Reforged the Soul. I don't know if I have enough mana for all of that, but I think I do. So 4, 6. If I drew Wish, it would be exactly enough for Reforge. Burning Wish would have 1 spare. They have Kozilek's Command, so I think we're just dead. They had an amazing start this game. Chalice of the Void on 1. It did not matter. Alright, so we're off to game number 3. We will hit submit. Alright, game 3 on the play. We are obviously going to keep this very powerful hand. We have turn 1, Ancient Tomb into Ruby Medallion. Turn 2, Vexing Bauble, Seething Song, Manamorphose, Wish. Into Elemental Eruption, or we could do Reforge the Soul. Really depends on what we draw. We'll play the Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. They have Wasteland. We'll play Mountain and Vexing Bauble. We can wait a turn here. We don't have to Manamorphose, Seething Song, Bauble. Like, I don't think our opponent's going to do anything meaningful here that we actually care about. Nice Lotus Petal. How does it feel to get your stuff countered? Good. Mindbreak Trap player. Don't look at my sideboard, please. Cavern of Souls. Okay, we'll draw for turn, and it's Rail. We'll play Manamorphose. Red. Seething Song. And now we can play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Actually, let's wait. Because I don't actually need to play it yet. Rite of Flame. So this is the 4th instant or sorcery for Rail. Now we'll play Wrenn's Resolve. Play land for turn. So now our next spell that flips Rail will be good enough. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Looks like they have Dismember. A little bit annoying, but okay. Unfortunate. We'll choose Tails. We lost the flip. Reckless Impulse. Seething Song. And now we can play Burning Wish for Past in Flames. And this is going to be very easy. Play Past in Flames. Easy does it. No bonus round required. We're 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2. On the draw, we will keep Urza's Saga, Lotus Petal, Grim Monolith, so likely Mystic Forge. Yep, it's Forge. Alright, key. Being on the draw was not ideal. Another Grim Monolith, up to 5 mana. Karn the Great Piece of Trash. Are we just going to be locked out of the game on turn 2? Grabs a Tormod's Crypt. Sure. If they can play a Lattice, we're just dead. We'll play Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. Drawing a Mountain for turn was not what I wanted. Urza's Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. They have a key here, so they can untap Grim Monolith. And they do. You have 3 more mana. And now they minus the Karn. They find Disruptor Flute. Okay. We draw Burning Wish, not bad. We will play a Manamorphose. This will make 2 red mana. We'll draw a card. Reckless Impulse. We will Manamorphose again. We don't need to play out Rail, Monsoon Mage, because it just doesn't help us here. Not yet, at least. Another Burning Wish. So I could, like, empty the Warrens here, but I'm not sure that's enough. Burning Wish would bring me down to 4. And then I could get Reforged, but that's not good enough. I could get Past in Flames, but there's a Tormod's Crypt in play. I mean, I could empty the Warrens here. I think I'm going to take the chance on Reckless Impulse. That was amazing. Alright, so let's play the Rail Monsoon Mage. They still have Disruptor Flute. So they could try to play Flute, and then I could respond to it here. And they do. So now we'll play Seething Song and Manamorphose. We'll make 2 red. And now Disruptor Flute can happen. They name Burning Wish. Well, pretty good name. We'll play Wrenn's Resolve. And this, if it flips, will be enough to ultimate the Rail. We did not flip. I will play an overcosted Burning Wish. Rail will trigger. Choose Tails. We lose the flip again. Uh-oh. We'll say yes. They have 2 cards in hand. Okay, I think the play here is actually to get Shattering Spree. Because Spree will unlock my Burning Wish, giving me another opportunity. Actually, 2 more opportunities. We'll choose Tails. We win the flip. Alright, and now we're allowed to ultimate the Rail. Look at all these beautiful spells I can play. We'll start with the Manamorphose. Make 2 red. Seething Song. We'll play Ruby Medallion. Play the Seething Song. That's Storm 13. We'll play Wish. That's Storm 14. Well, Jeska's Will for cards here. Storm 15. Rite of Flame is Storm 16. Burning Wish is 17. We'll grab Grapeshot. Burning Wish is 18. Yes. We'll grab Galvanic Relay. Burning Wish is 19. We'll grab Empty the Warrens. And then Grapeshot you for 20. Nice Karn the Great Creator. Can't even talk. Karn the Great Creator. There we go. Here I think we want to bring in a couple copies of Mindbreak Trap, and we'll just board out 2 copies of Vexing Bauble. Game number 2, we've opened up a hand that is just not playable. We have to send it back. No Mindbreak Trap, but I do think this hand is good. We'll put back a Reckless Impulse. Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith, Glaring Fleshraker, Lotus Petal. We're off to the races. I was actually looking up deck lists last night, and it looks like a lot of lists are on a single Lotus Petal and then 1 Mox Opal. So I don't know what our opponent's playing, but if they're playing a standard list, it's pretty unlikely. Turn 1, the One Ring. Yeah, you got it. With 2 keys. So there's a chance we don't get to untap next turn. So if that's the case, I don't have a draw on the deck that's good enough here. So we have to hope that they somehow brick off a lot of draws with the One Ring. We'll play Mountain past the turn. I mean, it's unlikely. They had their best start. Like, this is it. This is what this deck wants to do with an ideal draw. So they've drawn off the One Ring, which has 3 counters on it. And now they can untap the One Ring at least 2 more times and draw, how many cards? 9? Assuming they don't draw any more keys or ways to untap the One Ring. Like, we're just dead. Karn the Great Creator, yep. They find a Lattice, and they can play Lattice here, so we're already locked out of the game. Okay, well that's what I get for not opening up on Mindbreak Trap. So we'll go to the next one. It's worth noting that our opponent is also playing a Mindbreak Trap deck. So I was looking at the list just trying to study up on Legacy for Eternal Weekend, and a lot of those deck lists are playing 2 to 3 copies of Mindbreak Trap on the board, which seems hard to believe that the all-in combo deck wants Mindbreak Trap, but it's what people are doing. I mean, this is a turn 2, right? Yeah, we keep this. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. We'll play Sandstone Needle and pass the turn. Ancient Tomb, Mox Opal, Manifold Key. And they're passing with 4 cards. So I am a little concerned here about Mindbreak Trap, but my hand isn't one that can play around it. Medallion, that resolved. Let's Reckless Impulse. We'll play a land. Rite of Flame is great. And now we'll exile the top 3. And that was amazing. We'll play Manamorphose. Red. We'll play Vexing Bauble. This protects us from Mindbreak Trap now. This Jeska's Will can make 4 mana. And now we just have Past in Flames. Play Rite of Flame. Manamorphose. Storm is 12. Red. Another Seething Song. Reckless Impulse. Seething Song. Play another copy of Seething Song. Jeska's Will. We'll exile the top 3. Like, you don't need bonus round. Like, I feel like people think that I'm being disingenuous when I say that. Like, it's a card that is super sweet to cast because you get to do bananas things. But you don't need to do bananas things every game in order to win. You can just be boring and win, you know, with good cards. Like, that's allowed too. And now we'll play Wish and Grapeshot. That was easy. We're now 2-0 with the Legacy Ruby Storm. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the draw versus Magic Dads, who exclusively plays black Reanimator that are extremely fast, like Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Unmask, that kind of Reanimator. So not a good matchup for us, especially on the draw. Here we've opened up a hand with no mana, so we just can't keep this. I mean, this hand is great, but the question is, do I get to live? We'll bottom Rite of Flame. They have turn 1 Thoughtseize, yep. You might not believe me, but I think the correct pick here is actually just Reckless Impulse. Let's see what they do. Because I have 2 Ruby Medallion effects, so the only way that taking one of them is right is if you have another one. Another discard spell. Drawing a land was not good. Don't love that. They play Swamp. Unmask themselves, exiling Reanimate into Gristlebrand. Shallow Grave. I'm in trouble. I don't like this. So they've just drawn 14 cards. Now they're going to combat. They'll attack for 7. I'll go to 13, they'll go up to 11. They could draw 7 more, looking for more discard spells. And they do. They're at 4 now. What are the odds the 21 cards in their hand have 0 discard spells? They play a Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, and an Entomb. For Bergbarigmos, sure. So I guess they're just going to fling lands at me until I'm dead? That is in fact the plan. Yep. And one more will do it. We have been turn 2'd by Reanimator. We definitely want Leyline of the Void. So you could bring in Mindbreak Trap. I don't think it's actually that good in the matchup. So the question is, do you want Vexing Bauble? They're a 4 Lotus Petal, 4 Unmask deck, but it's not, doesn't do a whole lot after that. So I'm not so sure. I think I want to board them down and then maybe board down to one, or board out one Jeska's Will, so that way we have it as a Burning Wish target. And let's try this. We are now on the play. And wow, this hand's amazing. Keep. Leyline of the Void. And we'll play Vexing Bauble. Pass the turn. They have a Polluted Delta. They use the Polluted Delta to grab a Badlands. And Cabal Therapy on me. Good luck. Ruby Medallion is not in my hand. They now play Unmask, which will be countered by Vexing Bauble. Thank you. Another Unmask, sure. Maybe they're doing this on purpose. I'm not really sure. We'll play Ancient Tomb. And let's Wrenn's Resolve. Pass the turn. They just draw and pass. We'll play the Ruby Medallion. Oh, they did it so that way my Jeska's Will wasn't as good. That makes sense. Okay. They did not just punt, they were making a strategic play. It took me a second. They're on a much higher level than I am. We'll now play Wrenn's Resolve, Rite of Flame, Seething Song. So Wish could be 6, Empty the Warrens would be 7. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with that. We'll play Wish, play the Sandstone Needle. I mean, I guess Jeska's Will, fine. I mean, Past in Flames is lethal here, assuming Jeska's Will makes 1 mana. We'll play Past in Flames, Rite of Flame, and our opponent concedes. So we're off to game number 3. I could try bringing in Mindbreak Trap on the draw. It's a choice. It's probably better than Vexing Bauble on the draw. Let's try it out. Game 3, we've opened up Leyline of the Void plus a reasonable 6 cards. Yeah, like I'm going to keep this. Leyline of the Void. They play Lotus Petal. And they unmask me, exiling a Gristlebrand. They probably take the Ruby Medallion here. They take Burning Wish. Dark Ritual. Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Okay. That was spicy. We draw Burning Wish anyway. We'll play the Needle, pass. They drew a land. We'll get hit by the Sheoldred. So that shuts off Reforge the Soul out of the sideboard, but I think ultimately that's okay. We'll play Ruby Medallion, pass the turn. They search out a Raucous Theater, surveil away a Reanimate. So we're going to get hit here, going down to 8, and we'll be at 6 after our draw step. Manamorphose will bring me down to 4. Okay, time to party. Another Ruby Medallion. Let's start with Manamorphose. I need to find some mana here. Red. Sandstone Needle was not good. So in theory, I could try to just Grapeshot the Sheoldred, but that doesn't seem like a winning strategy. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Finds another Manamorphose. So if I play that, I need to win this turn. What to do, what to do? We'll play Manamorphose. I will go to 2 life. Red, red. Another Ruby Medallion. We'll play Burning Wish. Yes, we'll go grab Grapeshot. And now we will kill the Shield Red. And now we'll play a Medallion. So I could go Wish and a Galvanic Relay here. That seems good to me. Play the Relay for 8. We have to hope that they don't pull a rabbit out of a hat here. I'm at 2 life. A land, and they pass. I'm certainly not playing Rail Monsoon Mage. That's for certain. And they concede. We're 3-0 with Legacy Ruby Storm. Let's go! 2 matches left. Let's see if, we can continue the train. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. I have no clue what our opponent is playing. Under City Sewers, it looks like we might be facing the bully of the format. Fatal Pushes for Veiled Away. We'll play Sandstone Needle, pass the turn. They now play a Ponder off of the Undercity Sewers. They have not played a land yet for their turn. So Wasteland is a concern here, but, if they have it, they have it. And they don't. They play an Underground Sea. Ruby Medallion. I'm going to just play Sandstone Needle and pass. So you could play the Mountain and then Ruby Medallion trying to play through days. I'd rather wait till next turn. That's just me. Do you have Entomb? End step Brainstorm. They play Polluted Delta and a Tamiyo. So they're actually just on the Tempo deck here. They play Thoughtseize. So maybe it's the Ruby Medallion. And I'm slightly punished for waiting. I don't think we actually need this Medallion to win. Yeah, they made the correct choice. They just took the Manamorphose. So in this spot, Jeska's Will was an amazing find. And if you're playing another list, bonus round would traditionally be over Past in Flames here, where Past in Flames is so much better against Fair Blue. We'll try a Seething Song, see if this resolves. And it does. Let's try another Seething Song. And now we'll Jeska's Will. This is a pretty juicy Force of Will target. They fetch in response for Basic Island. And we reveal 3 lands. That was devastating. We'll play Seething Song. So our opponent needs double Force of Will here, or a main deck Force of Negation. Or alternatively, they could just counterspell Jeska's Will on the way back. They will now Brainstorm in response. This will flip the Tamiyo. 3 lands off of the Jeska's Will was just mean. Our deck could have been nicer to us there. Past in Flames. Resolves. Let's try a Seething Song. I imagine this will resolve. And now we'll flash back the Jeska's Will, which will probably eat a Force of Will. And then we have to pray that the Manamorphose draw gets us there. No Force of Will. Okay, we'll play Manamorphose. So they just had nothing. They thought Thoughtseize would be good enough against me. I guess I can play the Rail Monsoon Mage. I probably should have played it sooner, but it doesn't even matter here. We've won. Sweet. Take that. No sideboarding needed. Game number 2, we're on the draw. Here we only have the 1 mana. I think that this hand's a pretty big trap. I'm going to send it back. I love having the Vexing Bauble, but we need to be able to cast our spells. Get rid of Seething Song here. Wasteland. Okay. We'll play Basic Mountain. Pass the turn. Another Wasteland. Unlicensed Hearse, I don't care. We'll play the Mountain. We could try... So we have a few options here. Why did our opponent keep double Wasteland? Do they have Force of Will? If they have Force of Will, I think I want a Reckless Impulse or Wrenn's Resolve here to find Vexing Bauble before playing the Ruby Medallion. And they're thinking about this Wrenn's Resolve, yeah, because their hand is probably a bunch of counter magic. I don't want to jam the Ruby Medallion into it. They have 4 cards right now. They found a Swamp. Okay. Let's try the Medallion. If they have another Force, it's unfortunate, but I think that this is our spot to try. Beautiful. Orcish Bowmasters. Alright. I do have triple Manamorphose in hand, but not the end of the world. They now attack for 2. I'll go to 17. Needle's not that great. Let's start with a Manamorphose. We'll make red mana. Orcish Bowmasters, yep. I'm going to auto yield to this so I don't have to click on it each time. Another Manamorphose. We'll make 2 more red. Another Rite of Flame. Let's try Reckless Impulse here. Not looking good. We did not hit a single action spell off 4 looks so far. 5 if you count the draw step. And Manamorphose will be 6. No way, we just bricked on everything? Ah. Okay, we have to pass the turn. That's a shame. And now we're getting hit by for 5 next turn. So I have to draw into like a Burning Wish or Wish. And then we probably want to grab like Elemental Eruption, because Past in Flames won't do it. Reforge the Soul into a Bowmasters probably isn't a great idea. And a Force of Negation Will deck. Let's see. Nope, we drew nothing but blanks. This game feels like a missed opportunity for us. We'll try it again. Alright, game 3, we're on the play. Let's see a good hand. So this hand is a red mana source away from greatness. I'm going to keep this. It's risky. Wasteland hurts us. I could not draw the red land. But this hand has the upside. Vexing Bauble. Okay, good sign. Let's just draw a red mana source next turn. We have 8 mountains in the deck. Those are our best draws. And they have the Wasteland. So now we're a couple draws away. Sandstone Needle, though, is very good here. Ding. Play it and pass. So the reason Sandstone Needle is so good here is it's a red mana source that bridges the gap into Seething Song. They have Thoughtseize. Don't love seeing that. I wonder what their take is here. Is it Seething Song? Come on, just take a Burning Wish. Bummer. Jeska's Will? Or another Seething Song. Play Rite of Flame. Play Seething Song. And now we'll Manamorphose. Red. Red. Ruby Medallion brings me down to 3. So I can Burning Wish into Galvanic Relay here. Yes. We'll grab Galvanic Relay. And now we'll play it for 6. Ruby Storm looking very good. Our opponent plays a Bloodstained Mire and a Nethergoyf. I haven't even looked at the cards yet off of Relay. Like, I just don't want to know until we untap. And another Nethergoyf, so they have nothing here. Oh well, that's some cards. We'll play Mountain. We'll play Rite of Flame, Manamorphose, Red, Red. So if I play... It's free here to play Ral. We'll play the Ral. And then I have Burning Wish and a Past in Flames. Yes. We'll grab Past in Flames. And this should just be a very easy win. Past in Flames. So I'm not playing the Reckless Impulse first. That's not an accident. If for some reason our opponent set on like a bunch of Fairy Macabres or something, I'd rather leave myself just a little bit of wiggle room in playing around it. I know that it's silly, but I don't think it's actually crucial here to play the Reckless Impulse. Like, yeah, it's lost value, but if for some reason your opponent was on double Fairy Macabre, you just lose out. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather leave myself the potential to win. All these lost flips. Play another Seething Song. We win a flip. So it's worth noting, with the Vexing Bauble in play, it will counter anything played off the rail. So you don't actually want to have the Bauble in play when you start casting spells. We'll Reckless Impulse. And now we'll draw a card. Minus the rail. We'll play a Rite of Flame. Wrenn's Resolve. Jeska's Will. We'll do the Exile 3 mode. We finally find a Burning Wish. Let's play it. We'll grab Grapeshot. We'll play Vexing Bauble. We're 4-0 with Legacy Ruby Storm. We are 1 match away from greatness. Let's see if we can make it happen. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? It's the final round. We're on the draw versus the Daddy, who is a Magic Online grinder, and traditionally they play 2 decks. It's Dredge or Storm, which means if I was on the play, these double Vexing Baubles would be incredible. I'm going to keep this and just hope that we get a turn and, you know, the Vexing Baubles end up being good. They're on 6 cards. Mana Confluence, so it's Dredge, Faithless Looting, Dread Return Mana Confluence. So I need I need another land here. We'll play Vexing Bauble. Pass the turn. Upkeep the Otherworldly Gaze. I could really use a land as the draw for my turn. They surveil Golgari Grave Troll, Cabal Therapy, and another Otherworldly Gaze. They have Cephalic Coliseum. I'm in trouble here. If I don't draw the land, I think they might beat me through the Vexing Bauble. Draw for turn. We did not hit it. Play another Vexing Bauble. Pass. I have not seen a Lion's Eye Diamond yet. I'm beginning to wonder if they're even playing it. Cephalic Coliseum. There's Lion's Eye Diamond. So they are playing Lion's Eye Diamond. And I think it took too long for us to draw into the land. And now they just have lethal next turn. So they can cast spells and have them be countered using the Vexing Bauble to bring back the Poxwalkers and then make zombies with Bridge from below, and then I'm just dead. It was a calculated risk, but I needed to draw that land, and we didn't do it, so that hurts. Okay, we have to get both post-board games now. Bring in all 3 ley lines. And I like Vexing Bauble, so I don't want to board that out. I think it's okay here to board down on Jeska's Will. Maybe sideboard out 1 Wish and another Jeska's Will. Because there's a good chance that they just discard their hand and I lose the functionality of the Jeska's Will anyway. Alright, game 2. We have to win back-to-back games now if we want that trophy. Yeah, definitely keeping this. They take a mulligan to 6. They've now mulliganed down to 5. We'll put Leyline of the Void onto the table. Play Ancient Tomb, Vexing Bauble, and another Vexing Bauble. Pass the turn. They have a Cephalic Coliseum. We'll play Mountain and pass. On their end step, I'll sacrifice one of the Vexing Baubles. Another Cephalic Coliseum. Hardcast Narcomoeba. Sure. You got it. We'll draw a card. Jeska's Will. Play Sandstone Needle. And we'll pass. They attack for 1. We'll play a Reckless Impulse. Play Mountain. Wrenn's Resolve. And we'll pass the turn. They swing. And now this is our combo turn. We'll start with Seething Song. Play the Reckless Impulse. We find a Burning Wish. Play Rite of Flame. Manamorphose. We'll make red. Another Burning Wish. We'll Jeska's Will for mana here. Target them. And Past in Flames. Play Rite of Flame. Seething Song. Reckless Impulse. Jeska's Will again. Target them. We will Wrenn's Resolve. There's a rail, finally. And we'll Reckless Impulse. In response, we'll Manamorphose. In response to that, we'll Manamorphose. Choose Tails. We lose the flip. Manamorphose now resolves. Tails again. We lose the flip. Red. Tails again. We lose the flip. Tails has not been very fortunate for us so far. Let's play Ruby Medallion from hand. Play Mountain. We'll play Vexing Bauble. Play the Burning Wish. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. We'll say yes. And now we'll go grab Grapeshot. Play Grapeshot. Target them. Choose Tails. And our opponent concedes. So we're off to game 3. I have to get one more game. You could bring in Mindbreak Trap on the draw to hit their explosive draws, but the real thing they want to do is just Lion's Eye Diamond, Careful Study, Faithless Looting, Breakthrough. So it's only 2 spells. I don't think Mindbreak Trap is actually good here. We will resubmit. Game 3, our opponent has kept 7, and we've opened up a hand that is not good enough. We'll send it back. So this could be a turn 2, but we don't have... There's no ley line. That's my fear here, is if they kept 7 and they just have the nuts. Is this insane to keep? Or if I mulligan all the way down to ley line and they just have like Nature's Claim or whatever. I'm going to keep it. It's probably going to bite me in the butt, but this hand is very good. Like, this is a hand that could win on turn 2. Cephalic Coliseum, Careful Study. Pair of Stinkweed Imps. So here's the question. If they have... They're going to be able to dredge, and when they do that, they'll have 7 cards. So they'll be able to activate Careful or Cephalic Coliseum next turn. So I could Ancient Tomb into Medallion right now and guarantee that we have Ruby Medallion. But then I don't have red mana for next turn. So I guess I'm saying that like we need them to not have the land for this Cephalid Coliseum, or for them to not hit Cabal Therapy. I think it's Sandstone Needle pass, but there's a high probability of us just getting wrecked here. They hit the Narcomoeba, so if they put this in play, they don't have Threshold for the Cephalid Coliseum. We need no Cabal Therapies. No Therapy. And no Dredger. We got away with one. Wow. Alright, so we're getting our window here. Sandstone Needle being great. Ancient Tomb. Ruby Medallion. Manamorphose. Red. Vexing Bauble. Manamorphose. Red. I was really hoping for like a Seething Song there. We'll play Wrenn's Resolve. Let's play Reckless Impulse. Past in Flames, that's not good enough. I didn't hit any mana. We'll play Reckless Impulse and Vexing Bauble. There's no mana there. I don't know what I was supposed to do. The one nice thing here is that all of my cards are now in exile. So next turn I can play Past in Flames and replay my graveyard. They Dredge and hit another Narcomoeba. They did sideboard in Nature's Claim. So if they have a claim here on the Ruby Medallion, that's problematic. They have City of Brass, so they can activate the Coliseum. Or potentially, they have Static Prison for my Ruby Medallion. That's not good. So now they attack. I do have this Rail in my hand. I couldn't draw a Seething Song. Ugh. So if I play Rail, I'd have 2 mana floating, play Mountain from exile. It gives me 3 for Past in Flames, which isn't enough. But it would allow me to flash it back in the future. I don't think I'm supposed to sacrifice the Vexing Bauble. That seems like a crazy person play. I'm going to play Rail, and then we'll play Mountain, and we'll cast Past in Flames. Choose Tails. We win the flip. I do not want to flip. And now we have to pass the turn. They have Chain of Vapor for Vexing Bauble. Ah! They had it all. I think we're dead. So they're going to be able to dredge their whole deck here. Molten Gatekeeper, huh? It's interesting. Why are you... Am I missing something? Why do you not need to attack to win? Maybe not, but... Oh, this thing has Unearth. I never realized that before. Okay, well that's the part of the card I missed. So they have all these Bridge from Belows. They have multiple Cabal Therapies and Dread Returns. I'm dead. We needed to draw a Seething Song at some point, and we would have won this. I mean, I saw 25% of my deck. No Seething Songs, no Jeska's Wills, nothing. A Rite of Flame would have been good too. Let's see if by some miracle I get another turn. I don't think I do, but you never know. And I'm at 3, so the answer is no. Because Dread Return brings back the Poxwalkers and that will do it. Or they could just Cabal Therapy again. Unfortunate, we were so close to 5-0 league. I mean, the deck list still felt very good. It's just, I hit a little bit of bad variance in that final game. I think that this deck is great. I would recommend it. Go check out the sideboard guide over at theepicstorm.com/shop. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. See ya. Hey, Bryant Cook. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's no better way to support our channel. If you're interested in elevating your combo game, visit theepicstorm.com/tutoring for details about our coaching sessions. Don't worry, there's more great combo content coming right up.